The season of Lent is a 40-day period of preparation leading to Easter, based, of course, on the 40 days that Jesus spent fasting in the wilderness. The altar visual is an attempt to imply something about the wilderness that Jesus was in. We're not shooting for Disney World here. It's not supposed to be an exact replica of anything. It is a meditation point. Someone can reflect on the 40 days and what that means in terms of their own preparation. The desert is a place that is harsh on the one hand. It's difficult to be sustained. It can be dry. And yet in every desert there is usually a sign of life. Invisible means of support that seem to hold up plant and animal life. Jesus somehow was sustained in his 40 days in the wilderness, his fasting. We're reminded during our Lenten journey that God comes to us in the dry places and the arid places, gives us a means of support, not always visible, underground streams of water that feed like an oasis, that nourish us, that help us on our journey. I think the first commentary I ever read about Jesus in the wilderness said something about the fact that when the devil tempted him to turn stones into bread, this was a place where the stones actually looked like loaves of bread. So in constructing this altar visual, there are paper bags that are used. The question is, well, how do you deform them enough so that they don't look exactly like a paper bag? There was some effort involved in that. On the other hand, it was okay with me to let them keep a pillow shape to remind us that sometimes when we look at a reality, it suggests another reality. A visual, an altar, should always remind us of multiple realities. It should take us into something that's bigger than ourselves. One tradition during Lent is that there should be no flowers. I violated that rule ever so slightly, but I wanted to do it again for a couple of reasons. One is the plant that was used is called crown of thorns. The symbolism perhaps is pretty obvious. The other reason, though, I thought it was okay to sneak in a few flowers is that, as one minister put it years ago in a Bible commentary, whenever Jesus would go to the wilderness, which he did many times in his life, he did not experience it just as a wilderness. It was for him a garden. It was a place of prayer, a place of retreat, a place of strange beauty. So the aesthetic in creating an altar visual, even in a season like Lent, which reminds us of wilderness and testing and the jagged edges of life, it's also to remind us that there is beauty even in the desert and in the wilderness. So here's hoping that when someone meditates on this altar visual, they think about the dry places of their life, the struggles of their life, but also think about how Jesus is able to turn even these places into a rich garden.